What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Dallas season 5 episode 6. So Tiffany wants to have a get together for the ladies. So here's the thing. Tiffany's voice is annoying to me. Yeah. That Valley Girl type cadence of her voice, it irritates me. It does. But she wants to have a party. She says she doesn't want it to be like what they did for Brandy. She said it was, was very reminiscent of like wedding reception. She said, I've never been a girly girl. She wants something down home. She said that, growing up, she didn't have a lot of girlfriends, a lot of people over her house, because she was always studying or getting ready for a science field project or doing something academic. And so she always wanted to have that. But here's the thing. I feel bad for Tiffany because I think Tiffany wants these things, but she doesn't know how to do it. She doesn't know how to accomplish it, which is going to become evident when we get to the end of this episode. But her husband is like, well, what can I do to help? I like Tiffany's husband. Because he, like last week when she was talking about working, he was like, well, girl, you don't have to work, right? Like, you we got this, right? And even when she was talking about wanting to do something, he was like, well, what's up? What we gonna do? And she said, well, I would love to do like a pizza party. We have pizza night. They got a whole pizza oven in their house, honey. And, well, like outside of their house, you know what I'm saying? And she said, well, I would like to do that. She said, but I'm going to be working and I don't even have the time to put all that together. And he was like, I got it. He was like, let's make a list, what you need to do. And basically everything he came up on the list, she was like, everything she wrote down on the list, he was like, I got it. I can handle that. I can do that. Okay. That's great. I said, I know that's right. You better be here to solve my problems, honey. You better be here to solve my problems. Now, D'Angela went to go see her shaman. And basically she's bitching to her shaman about what happened between her and Carrie, and how Carrie just, brings the worst out of her, and how she just really needs to get it together and all of that. And he's telling her, basically what he told her is, when they go low, you go high. And she was like, well, what if I can't always go high? Like, what if I can't always take the high road? And he was like, okay, well, girl, then you just gonna be frustrated. I don't know what you want me to tell you. But I told you what I told you. I gave you my suggestion. Now either you're going to take it or you're not. And people just crack me up when they always tell their version of a story. But anyway, child. Anyway. Cameron and this dog. Listen, I don't care. I don't care. It's a Pomeranian. Pomeranians are bad as hell. I had a Pomeranian. I know. They bark at every damn thing. They are wild as hell. Yes, they are cute, and that's why they get away with everything. But I'm sure you paid this guy a whole lot of money to tell you what to do with your dog. Girl, I don't care. Then her husband was talking to her about the house and how they got a lowball offer on the house. And, Cameron is feeling bad. Like, she's like, because he's talking to the kids about how, he's using the kids as like, oh, well, should we tell mommy? Because, mommy gets hysterical, and mommy, mommy is going to be hysterical. We don't want to tell mommy because mommy's going to, and she was like, don't tell my kids that. Like, I don't want my kids to think that I'm unstable and I can't handle news and I can't, that I can't take bad news and all of that. And to a certain degree, I understand what she's saying. Like, don't make it seem like mommy's unstable. She was like, I don't want my kids having that idea of who I am in their head. I understand that. I do. And I don't think that he should use that language. But I think his point is, you're a spoiled brat and you can't handle when someone's giving you news you don't want to hear. You want this new house, but you can't move into the new house until y'all sell the old house. And at this point, y'all are going to take a loss. If y'all rush the sale, you're going to take a loss. Now, at the end of the day, does she care? No, not so much. Anyway. Stephanie and her charity, the bet with her husband was that they would have the office set up. Now, the problem is, she said that she ordered all this furniture and stuff to get her office set up, but the furniture didn't get there because, it was COVID and stuff, certain items were just being backed up. Like stuff like furniture and stuff probably wasn't moving as fast as you wanted it to move. Now, you could get, some eyeshadow from Amazon in 2 days, but, major items that had to be shipped from different places, probably not so much. So, of course, her husband comes in and, he's like, oh, so the office isn't put together, you lose the bet, and that's cool. But ultimately, we found out a little bit more about her charity. She's over budget, and she's over budget because she wants to do too much. And I think that that's the downfall of a lot of people who do charities from a perspective of they have the money to do it kind of thing. Like her husband gave her $100,000, and she's going over budget, not because the donations are only $100,000, but I think in her mind is, well, it's our money. If we go over budget, it's not a big deal. It's no different than me spending too much money at renovating the basement or something. It's just it. And again, she just wants to do too much. I don't think it's coming from a bad place. I think she just wants to do too much. She chose a school in Texas, and there's a school that's been hit by back-to-back hurricanes, and so it's just really, really bad. The locker room has just really been ravaged, and they just don't have the money or the resources to, to fix it the way it needs to be fixed, And so once again, Stephanie, I give you kudos to wanting to do all of that. Like, I just give you kudos to it, All right, it's the day of Tiffanys Party. Let me say this. Tiffany is one of those people that probably should never have people in her home. She should probably always rent a space when it is time to have a gathering. She's got this beautiful home, but she's very OCD. Very OCD. And she's very much one of those people that's like, my home is my sanctuary. My home is my sanctuary. And so she, one of those people that take your shoes off when you come in my house, put your foot covers on. And she even told them, and when you leave the house, if you, like where they were eating was outside, if you go in the house to use the bathroom, take the old covers off your feet. And when you come outside, put new covers on. Because again, it's about, and when you think about it, that makes sense. Like if the purpose of wearing a shoe cover is to make sure that you're not bringing unsanitary things into the house from outside. If you're outside, you don't want to, the purpose is to not bring. So it makes sense, but just the way she did it was just very bossy, She told the ladies that basically the party was over at 10:30 because she had to get up and she had a meeting the next morning and she needed to get her sleep and the ladies had an issue with it. I mean, everybody except for Stephanie, because Stephanie was like, child, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock anyway. I don't care. That actually works for me. But you know what? Here's the thing. I don't see what the problem is with having an end time. My cousin, I'm going to say it one more time. My first cousin, he has cookouts all the time. He loves to have parties at his house, but he loves to see y'all go home. And I remember one time we were there, and it was only just a few of us. Like the majority of the party had left, but it was like me and a few of my cousins there. Like maybe no more than 5 of us. Baby, his wife started flickering the lights. Like at the club, like last call. Like you ain't got to go home. But on his invitations, there's always a start time and there's always an end time. I don't think that's a problem. If someone invites you to their home, I don't think it's a problem to have an end time on the invitation. I don't see what the problem with that is. Anyway, but of course, the lady's gonna find something to complain about, child. So Deandra's the first one to arrive, and of course, the whole shoe thing, and she goes into Tiffany's, hair and makeup room or whatever, and when the rest of the ladies get there, she takes them up to the closet, the infamous closet, which it is a beautiful closet. Listen, let me tell you something. I could probably retire off of what is in that woman's closet. She's got a $24,000 Birkin. Now, let's be clear. She probably's got about 10 Birkins, and that's a generous estimate. That's generous. And that doesn't include the Hermes, the Gucci, the Louis, the Valentino, the Yves Saint Laurent. Like, that on it. And that's just her purses. That ain't got nothing to do with the shoes or the clothes. I could probably retire off of the retail value of what is in her closet. And I'm not even playing with y'all. I'm just being dead serious. But of course, you know, they had to go up in the closet and, you know, do the whole closet thing or whatever. Cameron bought a piñata because she said, you know, that they had a piñata for Carrie's birthday, but they forgot, so they bought the. So I'm like, so y'all bought the continuation, and I understand they said that 50 is a major milestone, so they're just going to keep celebrating, you know, for as much as they can. So they've got the piñata that has a huge 50 on it, you know, that they're going to use. They're going to burst later on, and later on they do end up bursting the piñata, and it's of course, instead of candy and stuff, it had like little trinkets, little things here and there in the piñata or whatever, and it was clues to where they're going to go on their little cash trip. Now, of course, because of COVID, they ain't going nowhere. But they just going down to Houston. And they're going to rent a house by the water. You know, that kind of thing. So, nothing major. And so that was that. So, that's where we're going to go. They're not going nowhere exotic, child. They staying local. But Dallas doesn't normally do these exotic trips. I think the most exotic trips are Beverly Hills. The Real Housewives, I mean, and y'all know I don't look at all of the franchises, but out of the franchises that I look at, the most exotic are the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They go all kinds of places, y'all. So now Carrie was the last to arrive, and so they get there, and child, she goes through her rules. Okay, she breaks down her rules, and like rule number 1 is I don't even remember. Rule number 2, I think, was about the booties on their feet. And then the last rule was have fun. And Brandy was like, you know, normally I go into every party with the intention of having fun. And the fact that that was her last rule is to have fun. It's like, okay. She had cute little aprons for everybody because they're having a pizza. You know, they're making pizza, so everybody has their little apron with their name embroidered on it, which is cute. And of course, that met Cameron's approval. You know, Cameron is always here for etiquette, honey. That met Cameron's approval. And they had this contest, and the contest was they were going to decide who had the best pizza. And you know, she said, we're going to use the you know, everybody just has to be honest, and I know that's hard for this group. Girl, why all of them was looking at her like, for real? That's how you feel? But I feel her on that, because it is hard for that group. I don't think that was crazy. So she says, well, so they go through the ingredients, and they've got, you know, pretty much everything you could think of to put on the pizza. And then she says, oh, I have a secret ingredient. And she goes and she's got crickets, and she's got honey flavored and buffalo flavored and all these different types of crickets. Now, I know in some parts of the world, crickets are a delicacy, okay? People eat crickets, chocolate covered this, and grasshoppers and all kinds of stuff. I get it. But that's not a normal delicacy here in the United States. And if you like it, like we know that Deandra is a foodie. Deandra eats a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Even Deandra ain't want the crickets, okay? But I don't think she would have been opposed to eating them, but you know. So, you know, they make their pizzas and everybody's having a good time. And Tiffany says, well, you know, she put crickets all over her pizza. She said, well, y'all don't have to like them. I'm going to eat crickets on my pizza. She says, and I've been told that Brandy is the jokester of the group, so I'm going to pull a prank on them, basically, so she could kind of, I guess, be in the prankster clique. This is how you know Tiffany is not used to doing things. Her intention, I don't think was with malice, but girl, these are the same ladies that fussed for 3 weeks about chicken feet. What made you think they was gonna want crickets? So when it was time to judge for the contest, she said, well, we all have to taste a little piece of everybody else's pizza, because how else will you know whose pizza was the best if you don't try everybody's pizza? And she let all of them take a piece of pizza and didn't tell not one of them that it was crickets on that pizza. Baby. So she reveals it to them after they told her how good her pizza was. She reveals to them that there was crickets on that pizza. Let me tell you something. I cannot explain to you the ass whooping that Tiffany would have gotten from me. See, that's not a prank. Tiffany, a prank would have been... The prank would have been if you pretended like it was crickets on the pizza and then said psych. The prank would have been if you had little plastic crickets and put them on top of the pizza after you made the pizza and pretended like that. You see what I'm saying? The prank is that you make somebody think something is something and then it's not really what you pretend like it is. The prank isn't that you sneak a cricket, a bug in my food and don't tell me it's there after I have been clear to let you know that I have no interest in eating a bug. Like, none of the ladies were interested in her crickets. They were clear that they weren't interested in their crickets. Brandy immediately starts throwing up because she was like, you know, I've got a messed up stomach and it just grossed me out, whatever. I probably would have thrown up too, but I wouldn't have been as polite as Brandy because Brandy got up, went in the bathroom, and they was real polite about that situation. Let me tell you what I would not have been polite about that situation. Bitch, I would have threw it right there on the table in front of everybody. I promise you I would have. And then they would have had to physically escort me up out your house. Because seriously, that to me, they're just some games we don't play. And that's just a game we don't play that game. That's not cute, Tiffany. That's not funny. And I know she felt bad, but again, I don't think that she just ain't know no better. But me thinking she didn't know no better wouldn't have stopped that ass whooping, because she'd have got the ass whooping, or she'd have got these hands. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. I'll see what y'all talking about next week. Talk to y'all later. Peace.